My name is Tyler DeLuca, and this is the Bias Thunder recap for Game 5 against the Houston Rockets. And I think the best word to describe this game would easily be deflating. We came out extremely flat at the beginning of both the first and second half, and it would put us in a hole that we couldn't come out of. And this isn't something new for this Thunder team. This has almost become part of the game plan for us, it feels like. Because it feels like every game we are coming back from something. We are never able to just take a lead. And, it shows the resiliency of this team that we are able to do this and still be successful. But at what point does it become a critique? It's cool that we're able to come back, but I would like to run away with a game or two here and there. And at this point, you look at the starting lineup and the adjustments that aren't made throughout the series, and the fact that we always just stick with this starting lineup, and that's our lineup throughout the game that we like to rock with, no matter what the game is dictating, is something that is easily harming the team. But either way, let's look at why the Thunder lost Game 5. Okay, let's just get Dort out of the way. Going 0 for 9 from 3 is absolutely unacceptable. And I get the growing pains of being a rookie, and I understand trying to shoot out of a slump. But that can only take you so far, especially in a playoff game. Especially in a playoff game that you're tied in. Not to mention we were driving and kicking to him. There was a point in the first quarter where our entire offense revolved around Luke Dort. And that's insanity. If you are Billy Donovan, and I feel like I come back to this after every loss. If you are Billy Donovan, at what point do you decide to make an adjustment? At what point do you see what the Rockets are doing and understand that it's not working for us? They are giving him the space on the wing to freely dictate his own direction when cutting. Have him cut. Put him on the dunker's block on the lower side of the post and allow him to use his frame and hustle and athletic ability to drop off passes to him for layups, to get offensive rebounds. Just do literally anything to get him out of the way on the wing to allow our perimeter players to function just a little bit easier, because we saw how our perimeter players struggled today. Clearly, Dort is going to get the most, hate or flack for his shooting today, but overall, our offense was absolutely horrific. Totally not like us. And I think the easiest point to look at when you say it didn't look like the Thunder today was our three-point attempts. We had 45 three-point attempts. 45. We made 7. We were shooting 15.6% from 3 tonight. That is insanity. We only shot 3 less threes than the Houston Rockets. They have 48, and that is literally their entire offense. We had 3 less threes. And, I mean, it's not hard to say that this is not our game at all, but I think one of the worst parts about how many threes we took is who was dictating them. The Houston defensive game plan was allowing us to take these threes. We were taking the threes that they wanted us to take. We weren't moving the ball and, getting open shots because of us. We were getting open shots because the Houston defense said, go ahead and shoot that. And it helps when Houston has a defender that is literally just sitting in the paint, usually James Harden, that is able to help facilitate this defensive game plan, which goes back to Billy Donovan needing to make a change when it comes to Luke Dort on offense. But either way, it should have been on Billy Donovan to be like, yo, I don't care what they're giving you. At some point, you have to stop shooting the 3. And he didn't do that. Yet another adjustment Billy Donovan did not make for the Thunder this series. Something that is somewhat more minor statistically, but I feel like is so important to the makeup of a game with the momentum and all that goes into a game of basketball is offensive rebounding, especially against the Houston Rockets, where that's where you should be able to expose them with their small ball. Houston had 10 offensive rebounds, and it felt like all of them ended up in second chance points. But I think the worst part about it was how they got them. It felt like so many times Thunder players could have gotten these, but they didn't attack the ball on the rebound. They didn't truly go for it like they should be in a playoff environment with the ferocity that you need to get this ball, especially when you're trying to come from behind and to get stops. And it's deflating for a team to allow these type of offensive rebounds, especially when you're playing from behind, like let alone at all. And it's something that absolutely cannot happen if the Thunder want to try and win 2 games back to back. So the last thing I want to touch on is Dennis getting ejected. I clearly came to the realization that as soon as he was ejected that we were cooked. Like, it was done. But we can't act like we were really in the game when this had happened. Was Dennis getting ejected questionable? Yes. Because I think it's very hard for referees to review intent. I think that, it's nearly impossible to review intent. Was Dennis being ejected the reason we lost this game? Absolutely not. the Thunder beat themselves tonight, and any Thunder fan that is blaming the Dennis Schroeder ejection for this loss is blinding themselves to the real problems that we have. Because Dennis Schroeder was not even saving us tonight, and that's a harsh reality, and it sucks that he got ejected, but the Thunder beat themselves tonight. I think the obvious question to ask is, can we still win this series? 100% we can. If we do the opposite of what we did today. We can't live and die by the three. Taking 45 threes is absolutely unacceptable. Anything close to that is unacceptable. That's Houston's game. That's not our game. We need to play our game. We can't allow our offense to be dictated by the Houston defense. We need to adjust our offense to what they're doing. We can't take the shots they want us to take. And I figured that the momentum was going to be hard to keep up after the break for social justice. But we have to tack back in to those game 3s and game 4 game plans to see what worked there. We need to look at what worked there, because that's the only chance we have of surviving this series.